Welcome to episode 157 of the Corey Shepherd podcast. Welcome back to all the... Who is welcome back? The people who listening already, welcome to all the new listeners. Google Podcast people, they find an alternative. Start working on it, right? Hey, while I am recording this, we are celebrating the birthday of the greatest calypsonian who ever lived.
If you do good, God would follow you. And if you do bad, your journey is hard. You're always in war with your conscience. It's squeezing you up like a tight pants. You could be living in a den of luxury, yet you always unhappy. You go to your bed on your lovely mattress. You're dying to sleep but you can't find a rest. No rest, no rest. Tossing about like a leaf on the bed.
The wrong things you do like a bomb in your head.
Many people in this world today, satisfaction is their enemy. They want every object they behold. Their greediness is out of control. They could be living in the midst of happiness, but their minds are in sadness. They go to the bed on their soft, nice mattress, dying to sleep but cannot find a rest. No rest, no rest. Tossing about just like leaf on the bed. The wrong things they do just like bombs in their head.
If you know, I have a special connection with that song, I tell you. I used to listen to that particular song over and over, almost for the first 20-25 episodes before I record. I used to listen to that over and over and over again. Great. Winston Bailey, 4th of October, right? One of the greats. And October look like it's a good month for we culture, you know. Let me tell you something. They dragged the old man out of bed. I know what the hell is going on, right? Right now, we're suffering from hangover, aftershock. Where is his get when it's still too late? The time I leave home last night, it was done past my bedtime already. This is not my hours. This is not my thing. I'm not a young man. But it bring me out of bed. Now I'm telling you this, right? I recorded this on Wednesday, the 4th of October. Birthday of the great Winston Bailey. Greatest, right? Greatest of all time. We have a few Winston Bailey to check out, and over the course of the episode, you must find some. But on the day before that, the 3rd of October, I was invited as media. Let me just let it be known. I'm a big deal. I just want it to be known, right? I'm a big deal. Talk to me nice. Talk to me very respectfully. I was invited by media. Salute to Overtime TT and my guy, Nigel Telesford, right? So Telly message man, say, boy, listen. Media, young brother, album launch. So I say, well, all right, this song, and like if I out of place here, I feel like I done. From the time he sent the message, I started to feel like the oldest man in the room immediately. I say, young brother or old brother? I said, well, like, what's my purpose here? What's happening? I come here every week, and I don't think I play a song later than 1970 for a very, very long time. You know what I mean? None of my songs would predate Black Power movement. I know. But again, salute to tell you, reach out to me and say, well, young brother have album launch, right? Let me tell you, I want to explain to you how lost I am in the source here before I get into what happened at the event, right? Name of the album is 310. No, that might make sense to some people, right? When I see 310, me don't know if young brother used to play cricket, if his runs he make will make him come out to 310. I'm not sure if that, you know what I mean, that the time the event starting is 310. I so confused. I just see the 310 thing. And when you're completely out of the game, right? A lot of things now I just chalk up to young people thing, right? I just say that young people thing I can't understand. So when I see 310, I say, all right, well, the event is 310, it's right in the Woodford Cafe, so things starting to work in my favor now because it's about 5 minutes from home. So I say, you know, it ain't so bad to come out, you know, 310, it looked like the Night Riders, look like TKR score in the final against Guyana, they're 3-10. But I say, all right, I'm coming out to the event, it's Telly's a good one, Telly will never guide me wrong, and salute to him because from the inception of this podcast, he's a man who's always reach out with the most random things that's helped me see things slightly differently or take things to the next step. So I appreciated it and I say, you know what? That is not the kind of man I could say I go in and don't go because I am the king of going and don't go. Anything you tell me, oh, you're having an event for thing, okay, no, sure, I'll be there and then come in a place. So the way the thing was set up, right? They had a media reception from about 9 to 10:30. I tried to reach for 10, right? I say, all right, well, here I go. I'm going to reach very, very close to the end of this media thing and then hit them the spin move and get out of the fast. But the media reception was nice. Now, my first issue is that when I walk in the thing looking like real media people, right? I seen Ashley Bash, I seen Sonny Bling, I seen people who's real media people and not just people who come in to talk a certain thing for 2 hours a week, right? So I was like, okay, Mil, maybe I should jot down some questions. I'm not sure what is happening here just in case they ask me. And let me tell you, the quality of my questions is real old people questions too. Like, I jot down 2 questions. My first question is, so how you came up with the name Young Brother? The terribleness starting immediately if they ever call on me that. But it was a cool scene. I'll say that they set up a nice event. Woodford Cafe is a nice place to do those things. They generally have a lot of those types of events on Woodford Cafe that I will typically avoid with a whole set of crowd and stuff. But from the entrance to the event, it was a nice setup. Promo girls outside, snow cone serving and things. The vibes was nice. And I reached early enough where the place was a little empty. So remember until I reached the media hour, right? And the place a little empty. So I tell myself, all right, maybe there's a little speakeasy thing. I you know, maybe I had this thing figured all wrong because you tell me what you would picture a young brother party to look like, right? I'll give you a minute. Use some adjectives and tell me what you feel it will look like, right? Anyway, everybody's supposed to know. I know the people who listening to this might only know Shadow, but you know, young brother, Google him, right? Young brother. So I take a few drinks, and I went inside Woodford. I said my best bet here is to try to get a table. Let me get a table somewhere, let me eat something and chill because now our company thing, the thing looking small, I can't exactly escape, you know what I mean? The few people was making me feel good, but then I realized when is so few people, escaping might be a little bit of a challenge up in here. So I chill out and think by the time I went back outside, and I want to say that, listen, Woodford Cafe, if you have to go Woodford Cafe for any kind of event, and you need to order drinks or food or anything like that, just order 5 sets of drinks and about 16 sets of food because the length of time it's taken for them to come is next level. It's next level. I guess they're busy, you know? But by the time I went back outside, this place is ram cram. The place full. You can now stand to hear young brother. I see him come into the venue and Nigel and them look like they was doing look like a little interview or photo shoot or something at the venue itself. And by the time I turned twice, he was coming up on stage. Now, there are a few things I want to say about this, right? I was excited about the idea of young brother bringing out an album because I've said here that number one, he's a star. Easily. Brother is a star, right? But a career is a funny thing, especially in this era. A career in music, I don't feel a career could be built on a lot of these songs that he sing. I always say it's more of a chant and a vibe than an actual song that you could live with for a long time, right? So when you see an artist going into album mode, it's always a decent thing to see. I know that it does not mean the same as what it meant in our time because, for instance, I was talking about Buju on the episode last week or week before. And Buju have some albums like Mr. Mention and Till Shiloh and stuff that will stay with people forever. I have a cousin by the name of Denise Lorai. She listens to I can't tell you how much times you hear the Till Shiloh album in their house in Four Roads in Diego Martin. And you know, our friends who Buju music means so much to them at the time. I always remember my father and my stepmother singing along with Buju's song, I am living while I'm living to the Father. I didn't know every word to that song, and them is not dancehall fans or big reggae fans, you know. And the significance of albums in our time was critical to the journey of an artist, because the album is what allowed you to connect with the artist. You have singles, right, which is kind of like hit songs that you'll party to and it'll make up your social life. But the ones I listen to when you're alone or when you're in your car, or the ones that you turn on when you're ready to listen to music to feel something, they usually come from album cuts, right? So I'm sticking to some album cuts for Shadow for this episode, right? I know all the big popular ones and everything for Shadow, and it's his birthday, and we commemorate that probably every year. He have enough songs to commemorate his birthday every year till eternity. But I want to play some album cuts from him, some things that might not necessarily be the mainstream or what you call the hit song or the singles that he pushing carnival after carnival, right? So just hearing Young Brother working on an album was exciting. We've been hearing about it for some time, and 310, the TKR score come out. So is our lady at the venue was telling me, I talking to her, and she's like, because I kind of, you know, in old man complaining more, and I was like, why did you do this thing on a Tuesday night? And she said, well, 310, that's the name of the album. And I was like, okay, I just pretend that makes sense. I have a way, when you tell me something, and especially when the music loud and I don't care hear already, and you tell me something I mean on the side, I just say, right. Me ain't have those other interpretation, you know, but she say 310, you know. Then when he gone on stage, now I heard him singing happy birthday. I say, who birthday is it? She say, but she's like, it's a Young Brother birthday. I listen, I feel like the oldest man in the joint. I say, oh, today's his birthday. She's like, yeah, 310. And I was like, what's going on? We just have to keep saying 310, like it's a code, like tell me we're supposed to just say 310 all the time. Me realize 310 is the damn 3rd of October. And the 3rd of October is the man's birthday. And he named the album after his birthday. And he had the thing on his birthday. It took me all night. By the time I put this puzzle together, it's time to go home. The fete nearly done. But they take the stage, they sing a little happy birthday and thing. At this point, I could barely see the stage because the only place I could go is almost on the highway side of Woodford Cafe, not to be in the middle of all the crowd. But you could see people responding to it. And when you see the energy between him, his DJ, Hottie, and Pimpin. Who is this? What do you want to call Pimpin? A hype man? Pimpin, an artist too, Hottie, artist too. But when you see the energy they have, I like the vibe. I like the energy of bringing out an album, making something that is set in stone, something to commemorate your career by. It's like your career is still anchored by these albums. Nobody ain't buying no album. I'm surprised that it's actually still called an album because his songs going to be streamed. And they have one of these songs in particular I want to play for you, right? But he opened with a few songs that is complete songs, right? Different topics and everything. I always say that I admire the fact that it would be easy for Young Brother to go down the road of singing Taliban's. For instance, I seen Byron Messiah and TJ's war now, and you know what I mean? Hopefully that boosts both of them career without taking anybody out, because Byron Messiah say both of them fighting one another, right? There's a St. Kitts artist who sing Taliban's I know I had to clarify a lot on this podcast now, because while I'm the oldest man in the Woodford Cafe room, I feel like I'm talking to some old people. Sorry, I gotta keep them up to speed, right? But Byron Messiah sang the biggest song in the world the other day. TJ sang the biggest song in the world the other day with Mommy back up in a, you know what I mean? And two of them seem to be at war. And I think it would be easy for Young Brother, given his style, how popular he is, how good he is at putting lyrics together, even though, I mean, he's no lyrical miracle guy, but he putting lyrics together and delivering them in a way that you had to like anything he sing. It would be easy for him to get on the road of a little gun down thing or a little shoot up, or you know what I mean, Batman this and rifle war. And he seems to be deliberately avoiding that, because the whole album, there's nothing like that on the album at all. And the opening song is almost as he say last night, it's almost a love album. There's a lot of the general theme through it is love. Now I want you to understand that at that age and stage in life, right, and with his kind of vibes, the love that's turned into steam very fast, right? It just get very steamy very, very quickly, right? So if you go on Apple Music or you go anywhere, the album done available already, but they have a few songs that are that great. I think people really reacted to a lot of these. So I mean, people stand up and listen as well. The album listening session, you know that you're gonna get some songs that, as I say, might be the biggest hits and thing, but people was there for it. And then there were a lot of his most popular songs on the album, songs that are already out, like Have Money When You're Inside, Don't You Know What You Do To Me. And the biggest reaction for the night, right? One of the biggest reactions for the night was Pimpin' Sliding in your belly. Pimpin' Tell you call Pimpin' have an energy to one. Salute to Hottie who come out and sing a song. But generally speaking, a real good event. The album is out there. That's something that you want to take a minute and listen to, because it's genuine songs, different from what you would hear from him on a regular basis. There are at least 4 or 5 songs that are completely different from what you're used to hearing from him, which I feel is what he needed. And with that level of support among youths like that, you can't go wrong. He stayed true to himself in that I was wondering if there was going to be a set of different genres coming together and how choppy the album would be, especially because he had some older songs on the album too. But the thing, I should use like Zane Lowe on them terms, like cohesive, the album well put together and cohesive. But I have one song in particular that I want to play for you, that to me, showing you the versatility of this youth that all of us would already see that he had. But he put pen to paper and he put together this, and to me, it's done a classic already out the gate. I'm not sure how radio is respond to songs like these. I'm not sure how much mainstream interest it will get. Like, for instance, if you do a video and those types of things, if them still do that kind of thing now. But again, this is one of them songs that people could go back to at any point in time and listen and make it a part of the soundtrack for their lives. The name of the song is Into You. It's number 4 on the album, right?
Brother. For the girl. I'm so into you. I'm so into you. And no matter where you are, girl, you no need to shed a tear, my girl. I'm so into you. I'm so into you. You no need to change a thing, girl. You are the prettiest thing we walk on earth. I'm so into you. I'm so into you. Yeah, you make me feel a type of way. So many things that I wanna say, but I can't seem to find a place and time to tell you what's been on my mind. You don't change for nobody, girl. Yeah, you make me feel a type of way. I need your body, need you here with me. I need you more than that needs is made. Don't change for nobody, cause nobody don't change. My pretty girl, you fine like pearls, I say. I need your TLC like please, baby. Please, baby. And no matter where you are, girl, you no need to shed a tear, my girl. I'm so into you. I'm so into you. You no need to change a thing, girl. You are the prettiest thing we walk on earth. I'm so into you. I'm so into you. Baby, baby, she said baby, baby, she said baby, baby, she said baby. You know me love you like food. You know me really like you. Yeah, you make me feel a type of way. I need your body, need you here with me. I need you more than that needs is made. Don't change for nobody, cause nobody don't change. My pretty girl, you fine like pearls, I say. I need your TLC like please, baby. Please, baby.
Let me tell you something. Simple as it might be, that song is a very, very, very bad song. And when I say cohesive, for instance, right, the very next track is this.
Big Zico. Don't you know what you do to me? Don't you know what you do to me? Every time you fuck is heaven.
All right, sorry. I forget, I'm not a young man, but listen, congrats to them on a great event. Congrats to young brother, baby on the way. One of the things I like a lot is to see the energy between him and Pimpin' and Hottie. It's easy to see, we have plenty memories and stories about people who come up, start to come up, start to see stardom and you know what I mean, start to see the finish line of success or along the route of success. And the people who are around them is a difference to the people who you see start off with them. And bitterness between them and the people. And thank God you could see them sticking together as a group of young fellas. And they bringing one another along because Hottie never used to say nothing. If only remember the days of young brother being in a house. You know what I mean? A house in sea lots, it looked like. Just unplastered brick, playing music whole day on Instagram Live and thing whole day playing music and making chants. Some of them chant his songs today. And Hottie just basically smoking and then saying nothing, just vibing and thing. And somewhere Pimpin' come along and he never used to say nothing either. Except Pimpin'. But other than that, I mean, from there, they basically know how their own songs and you could see that they're launching off their own career. So congrats to them and that is good to see them together. It was, again, great event. Look a little dicey to me when I see certain amounts of goal and Julien and things get very nervous very fast and I want to get to, but it had no incidents. There was a very pungent aroma in here. It was very aromatic up in the Woodford. And I mean coming home all 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I think I nearly couldn't wake up to record. But great event. Salute to Telly. Salute to Overtime TT. Everybody who was there. I hope you all had a great time. So anyway, people really come here to talk about too because they want to. I don't know what they're saying. Young brother. All right, everybody relax. Right, everybody relax. Right. All they want to talk about the budget. Everybody want to budget. People are so frightened for this budget. Let me tell you why I listen to the budget for, right? All I want to hear is if income tax going down and corporate tax going down or something going down that causes my money to go up. I don't really listen to the budget for any other reason. I'm not. Why it have any budget really to say how much they put in national security, how much they put in health, they send this to Tobago. I don't know that we have a budget that we read. Like, so for instance, for work, right? When we do our budget, right? First, we separate what you call the budgeting process from the forecasting process, right? Which governments don't seem to do too much of. So when we say a budget, we're looking at what expenses typically occur in each department and what we're going to allocate to each department, right? Or what we're going to allocate to each initiative. And then we have a forecasting thing that says, okay, this is how much revenue we feel we will earn. Based on that revenue, we could forecast that we'll budget to put X percentage back into marketing, this into HR and incentives and those types of things, right? So I guess they set the budget, the forecast for us comes from our oil price. I believe it's $87 a barrel, they say. And they work out everything based on that 87. So this send the money around. One of the bigger headlines is that minimum wage has increased from $17.50 to $20.50, a whopping $3, right? Now, only remember when minimum wage was $7 an hour. I remember the earliest one I remember was 6, and I remember when it moved from 6 to 7, and it went to 11 or something like that, right? And to be fair, it's my sister telling me yesterday, she messaged me like, Corey, wait now. Minimum wage in this country is $20. She's like, that's $3 US. I never thought of it like that. Like back in the day, you used to hear about sweatshops and Nike paying people $1 US hour and all these types of things, right? And he says, oh my God, these people living under such harsh conditions. Wow, could they? And when she told me that yesterday, I said, but we living in a sweatshop. The place not hot. The place not hot. Like the whole of Trinidad is a sweatshop. $3 are always what we're working for. And I had to tell her yesterday, I said, no, it ain't 2050. No, I said, it's no 2050 as of yesterday. It's 2050. It was 1750 all the time. So I mean, they quoted that 165,000 people or so work for the minimum wage. And the minimum wage is not a livable wage, right? It's just a baseline by which people, it's really to keep employers honest because, you see, economics, anyway, it's to keep employers honest, right? Because if you let the labor market be decided by demand and supply, there are some jobs and a category of work that would get a very, very small wage, much less than $20.50. A few things happening there, right? Because if your skill set puts you in a place where you're easily replaceable, so the work that you're doing is not difficult, anybody could do it, anybody would be willing to do it. And worse again, if companies could do without it, or it moving towards machinery or robotics or AI or anything like that that could do it, the wage price or between demand and supply for the wage is gonna continue to be pushed downwards, right? Additionally, if you have a large group of people doing it, that would be this labor supply, right? So if the labor supply way higher than the demand for labor for that particular job, they have downward pressure on the price again. People will bid themselves down. In other words, in basic terms, right? Forget the demand and supply thing. It means that if I paying somebody $5 an hour, there's somebody else there who willing to do it for $3 an hour, and that was what will happen if you do set a minimum wage. It's not the most effective thing, to be honest, but use an example like they talk about Foxconn in China, right, which is one of the manufacturers for Apple components. And they say in Foxconn, right, they say you had to make sure and work hard, and you had to make sure and be respectful to your boss. And you had to try to, if they say a 5-minute break, you had to try and be back in 4.5 minutes, be by your desk. Because they say if you overstay your time on your coffee break, you're fired and a man is outside there waiting for your job. It's like people, there's so much people outside the factory that whenever they fire you, a next man could come in and do it. Now think about it. Think about the job you doing. Can they fire you today and the next person just walk in and do what you're doing? Probably not. If you listen, if you have time to listen to this podcast, you're not working for no minimum wage. If you have time to listen to this for 2 hours, you're having. If you have time to contemplate all these thoughts about what life should be and listen to good calypso and stuff, you're good. You're doing good in life. Congratulations. By the way, I always talk about this as being an experience where you could listen while you're doing other things, right? You can listen while you're exercising, while you're driving on your way to work, you know what I mean? You're traveling on your, you know what I mean? You're on a flight, or you're in work during the day, as I say, it's helping you pass your time, you know? So if you have time to do any of those things I just listed, you're not working for minimum wage. You're okay. You do good in this life. You study hard, you hustle hard, whatever it is you do, you get through, right? People working for minimum wage and no job where they could sit down and listen to podcasts whole day and contemplate these ideas about labor market and so on. You know what I mean? It's not, they don't study to get to job number 2. So the minimum wage is typically is what you call like a price floor in economics, right? I just basically saying that this is the minimum you could go by. Anything below here would be illegal. Situations like Foxconn will come up all the time because they might be globally not competitive in terms of if that factory was in the States, they had to pay people much more. But in China, the amount that they pay, and while it's low for the rest of the world, is a decent wage for China. So people waiting for those opportunities there. It's one of the things that we benefit from a lot too. And when I say we, all like we who like to go in people country and work, you know what I mean? Who like to married people and thing, you know, you're going to get married to go and work somewhere else, you know. So immigrants is part of the reason that the minimum wage or the price floor, it really does not work. It really does not work. The issue is that if I go to a country where their minimum wage, so when my sister lives in Maryland, right? So when you think of it from this standpoint, to her, $3 an hour is unspeakable. You can't pay nobody that is below their minimum wage in their country. And whether it was the minimum wage or not, you can't find nobody who would be willing to work for that amount of money, right? So let's say the standard wage where she is, their minimum wage now is $7.25 an hour, right, in the States. But think about this. If I could leave, I work in a minimum wage job here, and I could leave Trinidad, I get through to go away, and I ain't register or anything like that. I'm working under the radar. And their minimum wage is $7.25. If I could go there and get $7.25, I just double my income, right? I just double my income. I'm doing good now. I could take some of that. I could live the same standard of living if you're comparing apples and apples, all things being equal. And I could send back some money home too. You know what I mean? So you find that immigrants will change that. And think about it from this standpoint. If our minimum wage is $3 an hour and there's a $7.25 an hour, and I could assume that all jobs are just parallel to one another, right? So it means that if their minimum wage is double hours, that means if I working for 20 US an hour here, I could go there and get 40 US an hour. You see where I'm getting at? It makes it more attractive for me to jump on a plane, go over there, take chances, married strangers. Salute to everybody who married strangers, right? You go and talk about that home. Salute to all these little married strangers. The reality is that even if I could go and they have to pay the average American $40 to do that job, I could accept 35 and be fine. I could accept 35 and still do much better than I was doing in Trinidad again. And again, if I stay with that same $20 an hour lifestyle, I could send home $15 an hour. Consider as well that I have to look at what they call purchasing power parity, right? They have a metric that's called purchasing power parity, which is try to identify how much does $1 buy me in this country. So, for instance, I always look at a Big Mac and thing for 99 cents. That's something that always fascinates me. It's like 99 cents for a burger. I will never lose a pound. You understand where I'm coming from? So, I'm not sure if that's their pricing today, right? But I'm sure we see things like that before. When you take $1 US in Trinidad, what kind of burger you could get for that? $1 US is about $6.75. It's a tiny burger. You can't get a burger in a school cafeteria for $6.75. So that's what they're looking at when they're talking about purchasing power parity, right? They're just basically trying to say, when I have $1 US and I go to this country, how much can it buy me here versus there versus there versus there? It is not the same, right? So $1 US could go a much longer distance in the States than it could go in Trinidad. And I can't even use the States generally because $1 US could carry you further in Georgia than it could carry in New York or San Francisco. I hope I'm making sense, I ain't come to call members and talk out for 6 hours out of budget discussion, But I just wanted to talk about the highlights of it and what it means or what the impact could be. So I hope all you're with me with the dollar thing, right? $1 is not $1. So they have something they call the Big Mac Index, right? Go and Google that. The Big Mac Index is basically the price of a Big Mac in all the countries in the world where McDonald's operates to identify what is the purchasing power parity. How far does $1 stretch? So go back to my $20 versus $35 example, right? I'm working for $20 an hour here. So $20 an hour is about 250 TT, right? So I'm working for $20 an hour here. And I could go over there, do the same job and get $35 an hour next to the man who getting 40, right? Remember, I illegal, right? So the boss man could pay me under the table and pay me a little less. So he saved $5. I make an extra $15. Now, my initial $20 lifestyle that I was living here, I could live a better lifestyle at that $20 when I go over so. Make sense? I could drive a better car, live in a better house, you know what I mean? Have better opportunities, have better recreation, travel more and so on to 20. Or I could buy the bullet too. And the same $20 lifestyle that I was living here, I could go there and live that lifestyle for $10. Now, I could send them 25 out of the $35, right? And that's that $25 I send them every hour. I could look for land and I could look for apartment to build in Trinidad. I could look for place to retire. I could send my child to school. I could send barrel here full of Jordans. Coincidentally, all the barrel full of Jordans was in Woodford Cafe last night. I just want to make sure that is known, right? Or I could get a thing by Antons. You understand where I'm coming from? So that wage difference, and I don't want to make it seem as if I'm comparing Trinidad to USA alone. You could see how I could make the same comparison between Venezuela and Trinidad, right? Where you would have people who come in from Venezuela and whatever their minimum wage is, once there's a gap between that minimum wage or the wage rate in the country or the labor market, once you have a gap between that, and then purchasing power parity come into play, you could see why immigrants will take their chance, work illegally or whatsoever, get paid under the table, do jobs that people in the country not willing to do. And then they take the $20 lifestyle, they send home $15 and you go back to your country. I firmly believe, I mean, the way I feel about home and about Trinidad, and I'm doing this podcast teaching me that more and more, that you have a lot of people who listen here abroad. But the fact that you could listen to this every week mean your heart is home. You understand? You're doing what you're doing. Not saying that it's, I don't want to make it sound like if everybody who migrates is circumstantial and is a financial decision, right? Because there are plenty more that goes into that. But the fact that you're out there and you're working, you know, and you can listen to something like this, mean you're still patriotic, your heart is home. I used to feel like all you leave the country, all you wicked and bad, and I would like to hear all you say nothing about Trinidad, but I learned that I'm wrong about that. So when you look at this change in minimum wage, right, there's a few things that added to that as well, right? So just remember that discussion about moving from 1750 to 2050. And remember the discussion about purchasing power parity. And remember the immigration discussion. And just observe what is going to happen over the next few years. Because if Venezuela's rates remain the same and their wage market did not change and ours improved, I expect that there's going to be a greater impact. You'll start to see more and more where Trinidad gets to be a favorable place to come and work because of that increasing gap, right? You see it all the time in the States, and it's one of the things that always talked about in the... You ever heard them talk about immigration in this Republican versus Democrat thing? Is because the States is an attractive place to work. Everybody want to go there and get the American dream and get better wages and better opportunities, and the dollar could go further, and then you could add on to that as well working conditions and OSH compliance and things that we may not pay as much attention to here. Also, when that minimum wage change, it tends to have an effect on the rest of the wage market as well, right? So for instance, if I was working for, let's assume I was working for $20 an hour, $20.50 an hour, and the minimum wage was 17. So the other fellows who was either driver and the porters and them was working for 17 something an hour, them was working for minimum wage, but as a driver I was getting $20.50, right? When the company, the firm, the private sector firm now is forced by law to pay the porter $20.50, what do you think is happening to the driver at that moment? You can see it, right? It's upward pressure on the price of their wage. So I now want to maintain my same separateness. I see it as an opportunity. So he get a $3 increase for doing nothing more. Then I want a $3 increase for doing nothing more. I hope you can see where I'm heading, right? Because there's a knock-on effect here on the entire labor market when that minimum wage change. So some of the unions and so on were calling for a $30 minimum wage increase. I guess Imbert was saying that they find the happy balance between the employers and the employees, and they come up with $20.50 being a minimum wage rate. Again, it's something to observe, because if it puts upward pressure or artificial pressure on the price of labor, you're putting more money in people's hands, yes, but putting more money in people's hands when they're not doing nothing more leads to a situation where, so productivity not increasing, you're not getting any more goods, it has nothing else to buy. It's the same set of goods it have, but it have more money in the economy now. The same thing happens that I was saying will happen on the labor market. It means that basically, let me say it only had one plate of food left, right? And two of we walk in there, and I had $20 and you had $30. All you had to do is pay $21 for the plate of food and get your food and go on, right? So you just make sure that you get our food by paying more than I would be willing to pay. If I come back with $23 now, because somebody give me $3, nobody ain't cook no more food now. But I come back with $23 now and I could buy the plate. Now you have to pay $24 to get it out of me. So the price of the plate of food is increasing as both of we get more money. If you give me more money, I come back with $100 now, and you come back with $150. The price of the plate of food go all the way to $101 to make sure you could get it and I can't get it. But the plate of food ain't changed. The amount of food ain't changed. The quality of the food ain't changed. As a matter of fact, the food might get more stale because me and you fighting over money now to see who will get this one plate of food. Now, that is on a real small scale. When you look at it over the country and all the goods and services we have, and the stock of goods and services remain exactly the same, but assuming everybody get $3 more in the medium term. As everybody bid up the price and all them kind of thing, everybody get $3 more. The whole $3 more is just lead to what you call inflationary pressure, right? I could see where the pressure would be there. Granted, there was a heavy focus on agriculture in the budget, which seems to stimulate production, right? And what they would call the supply side of economics. So you make more goods available. You're making more money available, but you're also making more goods available. So that's a positive sign. I don't know if I wasn't paying enough attention to what was happening all the time, but that was a little surprising to me that you tend to find that every time you hear about the budget, and there's a whole lot of talk about crime and health and education and sometimes water. It's been a while since I've seen a budget focus so heavily on agriculture and basically subsidizing agriculture and so on to make sure, or stimulate, maybe like it's a subsidy at the end of the day, but stimulate the growth of the agriculture sector. I guess it's following on from what they've been doing in the past few years, where they're trying to look at non-oil and gas revenues, as that becomes something that we can't depend on, which Guyana is quick to remind us of every day that we are no oil and we are no money and they have everything now. But it seems to be along the current trend of the at least sitting government to make sure that they work on sectors or grow other sectors other than just the oil and gas or the non-oil and gas sectors that they're looking to pump money into. So the agriculture is positive, a little vague. I'm trying to understand exactly what, like, there's no, sometimes what I would be looking for is a clear strategy. So I used to talk about this where GATE is concerned, right? I found one of the flaws with the GATE program or the dollar for dollar program is just make education available for everybody at taxpayers' expense. If you're going to do that at taxpayers' expense, I would think that one of the things we could do is look at a development plan for the nation and look at where you want us to be. So if you want us to be the best in artificial intelligence by 2025, then you could spend more of the taxpayers' dollars to go towards students who choose to study things that could help us get there. Makes sense? You're going to need programmers, you need software people, you need AI people, whatever the things are. But when you just put carte blanche, everybody going, and then you have people, 100,000 people studying business and 100,000 studying literature, and I guess everybody gets smarter. That might be a benefit to the country, but it doesn't take a clear development plan. So I was wondering, I was talking a few weeks ago about meeting a guy called Ben B. Coco in Miami, and him saying that he learned his chocolatier skills from a Trinidadian fella, and he was talking about how great Trinidad chocolate is and the technology in Trinidad, well, the know-how in the chocolate industry and so on. And, you sometimes wonder, like, okay, so you're going to pump this money into agriculture. Is there a specific form of agriculture that we're working on to make a competitive advantage among the other countries that we're competing against, to make us better off, to make us not have to worry about whether the $3 will buy anything extra? Because we could be in a situation where I was working for $17.50 and now again $20.50. And I can buy the exact same amount of goods. It feels like you get more money, but you're no better off. There's no increase in welfare because it's the same thing you could buy because the price of everything going up when the more money come. Talking about more money come, everybody getting back pay before Christmas. Back pay is on the rise. You cannot go wrong. Money to be made. Only promised me 4%. We didn't like the 4% thing, but you're going to run that bread right now. So I can imagine what the public servants, the men want to calculate this and make this happen, man. Who listen to that budget? I hope they had noticed before budget day, but the man come and say, all they get all themselves together, all they perm sec. Chop, chop. Everybody needs to get their money before Christmas. Now, that's a real goodie bag to me. It's not a change. I mean, the people owed their back pay anyway. All the people who were settled, they don't settle is when they was getting their back pay was the thing. So it feels like if it's a budget goodie, but that was already there. It's just timing. Funny that you say everybody get before Christmas, right? I was waiting after I hear that to hear that the online taxes going up by 100%. Wake up. For those who don't know, there's a 7% tax on anything coming into the country now that you bought online, right? So through the skybox companies and so on, you pay 7% additional. So it's 20 to 25% duties on most, like, a whole lot of items, the type of items that we buy on Amazon and so on. Then there's 12.5% VAT on top of that. And those two charges are calculated on the price of the item plus the shipping of the item. And the landed cost in Trinidad is where you're paying 25% on plus 12.5% on. And then your additional 7%. So you add up all them percent and tell me if it still makes sense for you to shop online or if there's an incentive for you to shop locally. So when I hear everybody getting their money, I would think that if everybody getting their money, a good portion of that money could go towards people trying to buy things online, which the banks and them handle foreign exchange and them kind of thing. So it's not a problem. But so I was expecting to hear something like the 7 going up to 50%, but nothing like that came. What else happened? So the back pay before Christmas, that I could see where once you get back pay before Christmas, all I want to tell you something, Courts is going to get money. Standards is going to get money. Penta, Berger, Sherwin-Williams, they're going to get money. Hardware, going to sell blocks. House going to add on. Who again? Ansa Motors, Massey Motors. All the motors going to get money when back pay reach here. Anton is going to get money. Money is going to flow when that back pay come. Again, there's a possibility that with all that fresh money in the system and the same amount of car here, the price of car could go up. It doesn't seem to be going up already. So it's one way. I didn't hear them say much about the inflationary pressure that will be created by, changes like this where more money coming into people's hands. But, I mean, they seem to have it under control. It's a solid year before the election year budget where all the goodies and things are to come. And typically, it's difficult to track sometimes when they say the health ministry getting X amount of $1 million. What exactly? We hear about this and then we pretty much forget it. They come back somewhere around January, February to do a sort of mid-year, somewhere around that, 6 months from now to do a mid-year review and update where we are on the budget and what was actually spent, where we are on projects and so on. So it's one to observe. One of the ones that stuck out before I move on from the budget and get back into a little shadow too is he's tripling the intake of police officers from 300 to 1,000. Let me just play a shadow quick now and let me come back to that one because I feel like I feel like a big part of Colin plan. I feel like a big part of Colin plan in this budget was to follow shadow advice. can ease the tension a little bit, but I was expecting to hear a little income tax going down to about 6%. I know much tension go ease there, not to be honest with you. I feel how much tension is and the tension go ease. The problem is when you get your money in your hand, you go feel like the tension ease. And then we back to the same in about 6 months or so. But the intake of police officers has gone from 300 to 1,000. This is an interesting one, right? I feel like it's the best thing the budget had to offer. For me, it's the best thing I've seen. For a few reasons, right? Now, the crime situation is one that is completely out of control. I was talking last week about being that frog in boiling water, or water heating up on me and we ain't moving. I like this as a move. I like it as a move that shows from an image standpoint, is a drastic move, right? If you only used to take in 300 police a year and you're putting 1,000, it's already showing a big difference, right? It's a big investment, it's a big change. The recruitment process is probably going to have to change ahead and looking for support and so on to get the thing done, because if you know what it looks like to take in 300 police a year, where outside of every comprehensive school is one big long line of people who want to become police and so on. Imagine what it looked like when they're taking on 1,000, right? The first thing that they said they will address is the fact that there's so much administrative leave, sick leave, casual leave, vacation, early retirement leave, all these types of leave that police might accumulate over time and be off, means that we have a police force that is not ever fully in. We never had full strength. And we had a situation that calls for maximum strength at this point in time, right? There's no point at which we should have unmanned police stations, unmanned patrols, unmanned areas where people, for instance, playing music at time by Erica Street in Laventille. That's two police in a car the whole day. And a man telling me if them police only move, his gunshot right now. But I supposed to come and play Sereno, you know what I mean? Imagine again one of them police on vacation, the next one on sick leave, and then so the crime left to run riots, as it has been doing over the past few days. I see a story today. It's one of the most disturbing things I've heard in a long time. A 13-year-old child went and reported a rape, and then is dead. The girl dead. They come and shoot up the girl and kill somebody else in the family. If somebody in a wheelchair gets shot, and thank God they live, so hopefully they could give evidence or talk. But I mean, I'll be honest with you. If it's me and that happened home by me, what are you gonna talk and say now? I frightened like hell. If I could make a police report today, and tonight I did, me gonna make witness against all you? So we have again, policing is not the solution to crime, right? Crime happening as a decision that being made long before the police get involved. But I like the measure because the presence of police in this country still seems to have an effect on the mind of the criminal. In that, if it's a police on the corner on Erica Street, we ain't gonna kill nobody. We will come back. I don't know if there's respect for police. I don't know if there's fear for the police and the training and how the police and them is crack shot and so on. I'm not sure exactly what drives it. but it seems that we have some sort of respect for a policeman in uniform. So the fact that they're taking on more to fill the void that is left by people taking leave, I want to salute that move. Additionally, beyond just putting people where leave is concerned, I hope that, so for instance, when I look at workforce, right, this is a challenge we have in work all the time, right? One hour, the types of work we do is hire merchandisers in the groceries on behalf of manufacturers and distributors, right? So you might have a Unilever and we hire their merchandisers. One of the issues is that when a merchandiser stay home for whatever reason, it is a domino effect. It's caused real problems because, and not just stay home, but the unplanned staying home. You know, you're sick and you just didn't come out, or you duck work and you didn't tell nobody, and we find out you duck work later on in the day because we work in 400 groceries throughout the country. So you might have somebody who didn't come out and you didn't find out until 10 o'clock. The person's supposed to be there since 8. Give you an example of last weekend or a long weekend, right? You don't want to see how fast Carib and Coke and them things sell on a long weekend. You know, because always going to buy out all, right? So the speed that's selling at, you need to get out of the back store and put it on the shelf fast, right? So the issue we usually have is if a merchandiser stay home, reach late, duck work, whatever the situation is, and somebody not at that particular store, the goods don't come out. The shelf end up getting empty. The goods, and remember, we dealing with that timeline, right? We have an expiry date coming up. So the goods could stay in the back store. They get closer to expiry now and it's problems because nobody want to expired goods or no close to expired goods. You had to sell 2 for 1, you're giving away a sale, right? So one of our challenges is always, okay, if I need to, my workforce has to be 60 to do the job that you need me to do. We always have to use a metric to determine how much additional people do I need to hire to make sure that we have 60 at all times. I'll tell you this, it's difficult to measure. We're doing this 15 years and I haven't figured out the exact science that says, okay, you need 1.35 the amount of people, you know what I mean? You need 35% additional people. And then you had to figure out, now, if I keep 35% additional people on staff, I had to pay all them people. Sometimes, so when the 100, when let's say, I have 100 people. I put 35 extra just to make sure that the 100 covered regardless of where's the situation, right? The issue is that when the 100 come out, I had 35 extra people to pay. I can't make no money. It's a tough place to be. So I could see what happened to the police force now with the administrative leave and all those different types of things that will be happening. And additional staff needed. I just hoping that what they did by moving from 300 to 1,000 doesn't only address the leave situation. We need to have a police force or police numbers in the police that are larger. The force itself has to become bigger. So if the total police force is 2,500 police now, or let's say we have 5,000 police in the country, we don't need to just hire some more people to make sure that when 500 people on leave, we have extra 500. What we need is to get the police force from 5,000 to 7,500. So you could bolster the different departments too, so that the fraud squad and them get more people. They get more man hours involved. The constabulary, our song, who doing patrols on the streets and making sure those things need to be. You need to have more people in those areas. Now, I find again was one of the better measures that was taken, and the last but not least is creating employment and creating opportunities for more young people to see an option or avenue that is not crime, that they might be able to get a job. If there are so many people who are still willing to join the police force, that's a good idea. I saw my guy Maurice Burke, I saw him posting about it, and some people under his comments was talking about quantity and quality, right? And I guess they're right. If the police service is a cesspool of corruption and they're being bought out by the criminal elements and so on, and people just joining the police force to become a part of the biggest gang in the country so that they could benefit from it outside of their salary, you know what I mean? Then we have a challenge, yes. But in a sense, quantity could breed quality. So you have to address the quality issue on its own. There's a separate measure from increasing the number of people who coming into the service and making sure that they have enough people to cover the leave, as well as additional people to do the crime is placing a great burden on police. Police going to court, police that are non-criminal. The burden on police must be enormous. So having more police joining, I think could only be a positive. The one thing that I will say that I missed is that I would have thought that if you're going to make that investment in people, there would have been a discussion on an investment in technology that could help us with solving the crime. I know we hear the camera thing before, implementing or furthering these things so that the police force at some point in time is not so dependent on people and more people to solve all the issues where we already have technology and so on that could solve it, right? That's also against the backdrop of the fact that the retirement age going up to 65. Now, that is a measure. I would have talked, every time I try to say I would have spoke, I was going to say I would have talked. So I would have talked about that in some other episode back in the day, right? Where the NIS is becoming a challenge in this country because of the amount of people who working versus the amount of people who dependent on those who are working. So as the workforce ages and heads closer to retirement and less younger people are working or contributing to the NIS fund, then you're going to have this problem. So that was always coming to that retirement age being pushed up to 65. I figured that was coming. I like how they try to put it together to say, yeah, we do that to make sure, employers and longer living life for people involved. But yeah, listen, that's just NIS measure. They do enough money to people NIS and old age pension and them kind of things. So they make sure that that is covered where that is concerned. So we got pay only a little later. Give you 5 years to figure out this situation before you could get into that. Anyway, I really come here to play Calypso. I come here to play. But again, what you want to say? Want to get the budgets are rated? It's one of them nothing happen budgets. I feel as our budget is in a holding pattern here, and by next year's budget, we will see some changes. We'll see some goodies and the things that we're expecting to set themselves up nice for 2025 election, right? Hopefully, I hold in the faith that by the time that budget, we're really looking at a 6% income tax and a corporate tax of about 5%. You know what I mean? I could play a little quick shadow for you. Given that it's the man birthday and everything, when it's people's birthday, you must treat them nice, Again, one of them that I like, somebody had to tell me, the people who was wrong in this time, had to tell me if this was a big hit or not, but it's certainly one of the shadows that I like to listen to. Against the backdrop of the police force increasing, I go into the first story I will talk about after the budget. Here what it's here, right? This is from Ian Allen Facebook page. CCTV footage allegedly captured a policeman who was dressed in his uniform breaking into a supermarket in Carnage, stealing $10,000 along with a DVR on Wednesday the 27th of September. Don't include the any thousand. The alleged suspect was PC Wayne Pear. He was taken into custody by his colleagues at the Carnage police station after CCTV footage showed him breaking into a Chinese supermarket using a grinder. PC Pear reportedly moonlights at the supermarket along the Western Main Road. So he was aware of where the cash and the DVR were located. Wayne, what the hell is wrong with Wayne? When the owners discovered the break-in this morning, the police were notified. The responding officers visited the scene, reviewed CCTV footage where they recognized PCP as a suspect. It says investigations are continuing into the incident, right? But whatever WhatsApp groups here, ask them to send you the video of PCP. PCP is crazy. PCP taking the people money to moonlight. They protect the people and going for $10,000 hungry dollars. Jesus Christ, PCP. What the hell is wrong with you? You throw away your whole career for 10,000, and he take the DVR like he never hear about cloud. Calm. You could do something for the police. We could up them. Forget the minimum wage. Just give the police more money. If the police have to be tipping $10,000, are starting to see what happened with the crime now. If that is what you willing to risk it for, come and say he increased millionaires' tax rate by 5%. So I think income tax now is what, not quarter year salary or some ridiculous rate above. Anytime you're making more than, I want to say $7,200 a month, you have to pay 25% tax on everything above that. And you have some exemptions for your first mortgage and maybe some savings annuity. You have some exemptions for that. Other than that, quarter year money gone. But now, if you're making over $1 million, $1 million a year is about $80,000 a month. As you could tell, I think about this a lot. I feel like that is where I need to get to kind of fast, but yeah, $80,000 a month. A matter of fact, 83, gonna get $1 million a year. Set your goals, right? I wait you. Let me set our goal together now. If you had $1 million a year, your income tax going up to 30%. Come see if you could pay these police at 80,000 a month. Give these police at 80 grand. Let these police live. Because if you had to be thieving 10 grand from the place where you're working, we in some problems. I going straight to cultural things now. So should I get back to this beauty queen thing? You know what I want to say about this beauty queen situation? Since we recorded last time and every time we record, I keep saying this story ain't finished. And almost as soon as I hang up the phone with this recording here, I see another part of the story. So where were we last week? We were talking about these people attempt to say that is xenophobia is what causing people to react to Mieledy being selected. Well, Mieledy stepped down. You know what I mean? Mieledy say, here we're going. Me able to this. I not on all you. And I'm not on that with all you. So she stepped aside and she's no longer our representative for the ever so important Miss Grand International what do you call it? I keep saying tournament, the Miss Grand International pageant. But she's suing. To be honest with you, I'm not getting a clear handle on who she's suing. I think some people getting some libel suit and so on for calling her name at all. I guess Darian Marcel had to be on that list, right? All you're going to ask the woman, you had no right to ask her nothing, but no kind of, you had no right to ask her nothing about watchwords and all these kind of difficult questions. I don't want to be embarrassing people and these kind of things. That was wrong. So I suppose you on the list to get sued for sure, Darren Marcel, along with I-95.5. But she said that there was supposed to be sponsorship and she did not get her sponsorship to which she was entitled, or she thought she was entitled. No luck with that. She out. And people going down, you know what I mean? I like it. I like going down with that fighting spirit. I see some people say the reason she pulled out is because she now find out that if she go Vietnam, she ain't sure to get back into Trinidad. But I find if that is the case, she should have go still and win, man. Go and win, you know what I mean? If you had win, we'd accept you back with open arms. If you lost, you ain't coming back for sure. If you lost, is a wrap, right? But now, we have a new queen in place. We have a new queen in place. What I find very strange is the fact that I've been monitoring the Facebook page and the Instagram page of these stolen production people, stolen pageant people who own the Miss Grand International franchise. And it seemed as though they had no intention to post the actual girl who go in. Every story they did was still about Mieledy. So let me talk about this lawsuit, right? This is from the Guardian, from the Express. Venezuelan Mieledy Materano has stepped down from his Grand International Trinidad and Tobago, citing a lack of sponsorship by the local franchise holder. Materano's attorneys, led by Wayne Sturge, indicated yesterday that she will no longer represent TNT in the competition, having been told by a pageant holder within the last 72 hours that she would have to pay her own way to Vietnam. This was contrary to what had been put to Materano when she entered the competition. The development has now caused a looming threat of litigation, Sturge said. However, more will be said publicly following discussions with the company. This announcement was made at a news conference at Sturge's Regis Chambers, Port of Spain, where Materano was present but did not speak. Did not speak or could not speak. Also present were attorneys Lemuel Murphy, Tamara Gregorio, as well as Materano's manager, Cherise Parsons. Remember that name? And supporter Raj Arjun. Just supporter. Raj Arjun. Is Raj Arjun the guy who I was talking about last week, who is seemed to be the PR guy for these folks? Quoted here from Wayne Sturge. We have today instructed Mieledy against answering questions as there's a real risk that she can't talk English. There's a real risk that this matter may occasion litigation. Materano, dressed in a pink suit, in a statement read by the Materano has chosen to step down to relinquish her. All right, yeah, that's about it for that. So she's out. I feel like this story have a few more twists and turns involved, right? And I don't want to say anything disparaging about the young lady who they chose to go up to replace. Well, not chose to go up. Once he's the second runner-up and the first person can afford to go Vietnam, you next, and if you could afford to go, you are now Miss Trinidad and Tobago Grand International. I just find it take long to post this girl. And MYOB and them, the pictures that they sent out to this girl at first, this girl was looking like Michelle Obama's mother. She was looking old like the hills, but she's a very beautiful young lady. I'm happy for her. Let me read from the Guardian here, right? Stolen Productions Limited, the pageant franchise holder for Miss Grand International, has distanced itself from allegations made by Mieledy Materano, who announced on Wednesday that she was giving up her crown due to sponsorship issues. Just remember, just last week, right, that the accusations or the talk was that Mieledy is involved with somebody on the Stolen Production side or somebody who is one of the judges and them things. So I know what happened behind the scenes, who was supposed to sponsor who to go with. But it clearly going wrong and it going to court, or at least threats of court. Speaking to the Guardian Media on Thursday morning, SPL's head of marketing and public relations, Kerry Gobadan, this is the man who can't say the whole anthem and trying to make it sound like if we xenophobic. I wonder what he had to say now. He said the company is sponsoring the delegates. Wait, what? Speaking with the Guardian Media on Thursday morning, SPL's head of marketing and public relations, Kerry Gobadan, said the company is sponsoring the delegates. First runner-up Rebecca Hislop will now be traveling to Vietnam next month to represent TNT as the crown is now passed to her. I don't understand. What you mean you're sponsoring delegates? So I'm to Mieledy. Dolly didn't have enough bees to get him. Anyway, our attorneys are preparing a statement on what was said. The accusations they were making were inaccurate. The new delegate, Rebecca, the company will be sponsoring her trip, her tickets, and her accommodation, which in fact I already paid for. The only thing we were seeking sponsorship for was the airline ticket. Everything else for the delegate in terms of accommodation, food, those things are already paid for, so the claims they're making are very inaccurate. I confused. They said they will be sponsoring her trip, her tickets. What do you mean, bus tickets? Or you could say you're sponsoring her trip and her tickets, and the next thing you say, the only thing we were seeking sponsorship for was the airline ticket. Anyway, Venezuelan-born Mieledy Materano was crowned Miss TNT a few weeks ago, and she's scheduled to represent TNT next month in Vietnam. She stepped down, decided. She has stepped down. Her decision to step down came out of new developments earlier this week pertaining to sponsorship, and not because of the public outcry. Yeah, they wanted to make that clear in the press conferences that it wasn't because of the public outcry. But this, I mean, they do so good to get their light shed on this pageant. I want to tell you that even in this article, which is basically designed to talk about Miss Hislop, it's like 80% of the article really focused around Mieledy and this lawsuit and those kind of things. Nobody out, and you know, it's so funny, boy. I was just saying last week that we have people who go up for pageants all the time, sports people, all kind of people who do things all over the world that get no recognition whatsoever, no support. But we have such strong opinions that we could make the name Mieledy Maturano. She going down in history in Trinidad and Tobago as a legend. 10 years from now, when you see Mieledy Maturano, people go remember, I have to go now, I have to go. She became a legend, while most of our own heroes go unspoken, unheard of, unmentioned, completely forgotten by the time comes around. I mean, it's funny the way things work sometimes. Funny, but salute to Miss Hislop. We wish you the best. I guarantee you that if you go, because I feel it still have more twists and turns in this story, if you go Vietnam, stay safe, make sure you're good with these people and them kind of thing, but come back and tell me what it has happened. Come back and tell me what happened, because I want it to be known as well that we going back to where nobody don't care about this pageant. The day will come and go and nobody's going to pay attention to it unless you win or do real good. There's the show is over. The scandal is what was driving this, and unfortunately we don't really have that kind of support for one another to say that Miss Hislop is going to get our support now, because we finally oust this wicked Venezuelan who tried to represent you. Wicked! And these wicked people who try to put Venezuelan to represent you. Only for the grand prize of not caring about the local who went. It's beautiful. Trinidad's a great place to live, but I ain't come to talk about that. I, as a man, really just come to wish the mighty Shadow, or the great Shadow, the great Winston Bailey, I come to wish him a happy birthday and play a tune like this.
I believe. I said I believe. Man could change my destination. Man could give me some vacation, yeah, yeah. Man could treat me very evil. Man could get me into trouble. Man could take my wife, change my life, leave me in grief, but no man could change my belief. I believe in the stars in the dark night. I believe in the sun in the daylight. I believe in the little children, yeah, yeah. I believe in life and its problems. And you could rob me, and you could beat me, and you could cheat me, but you can't change me. You could take out my eyes, yeah, and then force me to cry. You could tell me a lie, but you can't change me. From the daylight, oh yeah, yeah. Man could cheat me from my birthright. Man could keep me far from riches. Man could place me into ditches. Man could bruise my face, take my place. The night and the day, no one could take away. I believe in the stars and dark night. I believe in the sun in the daylight. I believe in the little children, oh yeah. I believe in life and its problems. And you could rob me, you could beat me, and you could cheat me, but you can't change me. You could take out my eyes, oh yeah, and then force me to cry. You could tell me a lie, but you can't change me. I know you can't. Oh, no,
Yeah, I believe.
And I believe.
I tell you, some listening classics from Shadow, you know. Might be the biggest of the party hits. I have a party one lineup for you, but might be the biggest for the party hits, where I tell you, album cuts, thing you can sit down and listen to, thing with message, right? The rest of this episode, as I do every week, right, is dedicated to not be Trinidadian. I don't want to be Trini for a while. I don't want to be no Trini. Because I want to take the rest of this episode just to acknowledge the hard work that people doing in different spaces. I could do that. Can I just do that for the rest of the episode, since we like, you know, we all representative. And then when you get with your own representative, nobody don't know this girl name. The first thing they say is you get looking all like the hills. You have no respect for nobody. Before I jump into my recognizing some people to close out this episode, I want to acknowledge the folks behind the Japan Caribbean Carnival. As Carnival continues to expand, I always remember people talking about, you know, they say music, rum music, right? You know, they like to talk about music, rum music. Music is a festival music, and the music is disposable, and the song's only there for a year. I want to tell you that one of the reasons why we could have somebody like Shadow to go through a catalog as big as we could go through, right, is because these fellas compose songs every single year. The greatest artist in the world on tour right now, right? There's Beyonce, right? $400 ticket to see the stage, right? I'll use Rihanna as an example. I don't know if Rihanna will ever release music again. I don't know how it's looking. Did he not release an album? Them fellas and them take years to put out albums sometimes. They take their time and curate the music and decide on this and decide on that before they put it. They don't produce. I don't know that they have any other genre that's produced at the clip of soca music. Sorry, dancehall. Sorry, maybe dancehall, right? Them fellas make song every day. But the clip soca put out albums every year. When you look at somebody like Shadow Carnival coming them and putting out an EP every single year. And then leave hundreds of songs in their legacy if they reach 1,000 that they could leave with us and we could revisit in episodes like these. One of the arguments has always been the music too specific. You're walking behind a truck. What does that mean in Germany? And I always used to say, listen, we could also guarantee ourselves a hit for an entire year by making Trinidad and Tobago Carnival the anchor of Carnival. And then as the Carnival move everywhere, our Road March song is still the biggest song for the year. Our Soca Monarch is the monarch of all the carnivals in the world. We had to set this thing up. Just like how Nike could convince we that they are the best running shoes, we could convince people that we have the best carnivals. A branding and thing issue. I spoke about Jamaica and how they were able to reach out to two men by the name of Al Rice and Jack Trout to do brand positioning for Jamaica as a country. And what it has done for the image of Jamaica to the rest of the world is something that we need to pursue to ensure that Trinidad and Tobago's identity is created and communicated to everybody else everywhere in the world, so that even though you have a Trinidad and Tobago Carnival, when you have that same Trinidad and Tobago Carnival in Japan, it is the same. It's a Japanese restaurant here. You understand? It's a Japanese restaurant here. Moving something out of the country as a concept and selling it in another country is not... It's not new. It's not even novel. This is something that's done all the time. Every major city in the world have a Chinatown, including Charlotte Street. So what stops us from taking Trinidad and exporting it in the form of carnivals everywhere in the world? So I was glad to see they do this in Japan. And if we continue to do this in a very organized, pointed, and strategic and meaningful way, we will dominate the carnival space. And I could stop hearing people telling about Rio Carnival, which is a small carnival compared to Trinidad and Tobago Carnival in aggregate. If you look at total, Caribana, New York, Miami, LA, Berlin, Notting Hill, Japan, Trinidad, Jamaica. If you tally up all them things in aggregate, we could outshine them numbers in Rio. So I never understood the argument. I was glad again from Rio McKenzie in the Newsday. Japan Caribbean Carnival, a big hit. I thought it was the first two, but I saw my boy Damien Archie, who would know this much better than me, saying that this is not the first. But I hope that this becomes and continues to build as an additional leg of our Trinidad and Tobago Carnival. So the reviews are in, and the inaugural Japan Caribbean Carnival, or not inaugural, is being hailed by many attendees as memorable and a once-in-a-lifetime experience. From September 13 to 17, participants were treated to tours and parties and on September 18th, the annual Soca in Japan events ended in a Trinidad and Tobago style parade of the bands at Moroba Twin Circuit Racetrack in Chiba Prefecture, Japan. And I'm sure I have all that wrong. While soca events including parties, boat rides, and juve have been happening for a few years in Japan, this year marked the first time participants were able to follow a big music truck and revel on the road as they would in the islands. Many people in Japan are quite familiar with soca music, which has been popular there for years, prompting the rise of several Japanese-led steel bands, Japanese soca DJs, dancers, and dance classes, and Caribbean parties in major cities like Tokyo and Kobe. You know, they have a little picture and they look nice too. They look nice so, but we got a little Japan Carnival, boy. This is Princess Town's Yoshida Silo-chan waves a Trinidad and Tobago flag in Japanese. Listen, all you need to go and watch this article. Anyway, over the weekend in an unrelated event, there was also a pan festival in Kobe Prefecture where Trinidad and Japanese locals were serenaded by the fantastic Sukiyaki Steel Orchestra at the Kobe Steel Pan Fest Carnival. But organizing the parade of the band style event has been a dream of soca in Japan organizer Kigon Tuse and his team for a few years. Tuse thanked his team, comprised of Trinbagonian expats and Japanese locals, for the dedication in executing this vision. Thank you to everyone who came out this weekend. It was truly unbelievable. And a lot of hard work by the team. Our culture is powerful. Next year can only be bigger and better. I like it. Tuse was a mighty man, and to make matters worse, he was black. So salute to everybody who is involved in the Japan Carnival. It's a big hit. It looked like a small hit, but this is how you had to start, and you continue to grow that, because one of the things that you find about the Japanese culture is a very, I will say, open and absorbing culture. When you look at how they've embraced dancehall music, sort of almost like if it's their own, they make their own Japanese sector of the dancehall culture and dance culture in dancehall. And you see them being more and more part of pan music and being a part of our carnival here. Taking the carnival there could only do well for us. So continue to do that. Salute to them. And tell me if you know this shadow. One of the best, right?
Hey, calypsonian, challenge my reputation. He said he is the soca king. I can't make with the soca thing. I call the mental hospital. Come quick to avoid a funeral. A man came in my house to beat me. He came in my house to fight me. I belong to the house of music. He's either crazy or real sick. But I don't want to sing that soca boat. I don't want to sing that soca boat. Just don't want to sing that soca boat. I don't want to sing that soca boat. My blood hot till it's violent. I vex now I'm feeling to fight him. He came in my house to beat me. He came in my house to fight me. I belong to the house of music. He's either crazy or healthy. But I don't want to sing that soca boat. I don't want to sing that soca boat. I don't want to sing that soca boat. I don't want to sing that soca boat.
I don't want to sing I don't want to sing that soca, but when you listen to that rhythm and bass, right, you can tell me, boy, listen, we music ain't missing nothing, you know. People wonder sometimes when people talk about reggae and dancehall and hip hop and R&B and things, they talk like if this genre of music lacking something. When you hear that production, that piece of music, you could not love that, bro. It's salute time. The name of the episode is Salute. Salute to Trinidad and Tobago's Shane Ramnarine as he shines on the New York fashion stage. This is from Newsday Reporter. Bavina Sugdeo. Thanks, Bavina. Trinidad and Tobago's Shane Ramnarine is making significant impact on the international fashion stage with his brand, 11 Threads Rumor. Ramnarine, originally from Marabella, had his designs featured in the New York Fashion Week, which was held between September 7th and 13th. He presented at Sony Hall, 235 West 46th Street, Manhattan, New York. On the opening night of the Runway 7 Spring-Summer 2024 collection showings on September 7th. His collections embodied sophistication, edginess, and a distinct Caribbean Trinidadian flair with its bright, vibrant colors, tropical prints, and playful accessories. While he always loved fashion, Ramnarine's fascination with the industry deepened when he relocated to Miami in early 2020 due to his job with a sugar trading company. He now manages its Caribbean operations. In Miami, a city he says is known as the fashion capital of swimsuits, he was determined to expand his fashion skills and eagerly learn to sew. This newfound knowledge, combined with my background in Trinidad Carnival design, propelled me towards creating swimwear collections that perfectly captured the essence of the beach, sun, and luxury, he told Newsday in a phone interview. He poured his heart and soul into crafting a swim and resort wear collection that would turn heads and make a lasting impression. This dedication led to his debut at New York Fashion Week, where he showcased swim and resort wear as well as carnival costumes. Appearing at NYFW was a fulfillment of his dream. Quoted as saying, "As a creative soul with a passion for fashion, attending this prestigious event has been a dream come true for me. Stepping into the world of NYFW was an experience beyond words. The atmosphere was electric, buzzing with excitement and anticipation. Everywhere I turned, I found myself surrounded by fashion icons, designers, models, and influencers who shared the same passion for the art of lifestyle, or the art of style. It was awe-inspiring to witness the creativity and innovation that unfolded on the runways. Each designer's unique perspective showcased a kaleidoscope of colors, textures, and silhouettes. I couldn't help but feeling humbled and motivated to showcase my own collection, eager to contribute my creative voice to the vibrant fashion landscape." That applause was really for me, me being able to read that. I just wanted to know because that was a little bit of a struggle. But the idea here is to salute our own Shane Ramnarine as we continue to salute our own and not just vex when Venezuelan representing we, but take that same passion that we have when we upset to put behind the people who actually represent us, who are of us. But who is me to talk about that? I really just come to play a little shadow, you know.
I come out to play. I come out to play, yeah. I come out to play. Mama, oh, yeah. It was Tuesday night, last on Carnival. Me head feeling right when I met this girl. She said I drink up me whiskey and I smoke up me jambi. And right now I'm searching for a man to jump up with me. But for you dancing like you're afraid to touch me. I come out to play. Hold me tight around my belly. I come out to play. You're afraid my man will beat you. I come out to play.
Me ain't have no man, I tell you.
I only hope you don't have no woman in the band. If you have a woman, that don't be real confusion. I am in search of a man with your description, and you gotta play with me from now until Ash Wednesday. And yeah. Oh yeah. And me do die. I said, do come, take a drink of rum. She said, me shoe bust, and I lost my purse. I told her throw away the damn shoe, and I threw away my shoe too. She said, hold day, I'm hoping I could bounce up someone like you, but you're dancing like you're afraid to touch me. I come out to play, hold me tight around my belly. I come out to play, you're afraid my man will beat you. I come out to play, I don't have a man, I tell you. I only hope you don't have no woman in the band. If you have a woman, that will be real confusion. I am in search of a man with your description, and you got to play with me from now until last Wednesday. About 9:30, now she start to whine. Then she follow lost, me elastic bust. I told her throw away the damn thing, the elastic was holding. We can't stay to join it back, we got to get the last lap. She said you're dancing like you're afraid to touch me. I come out to play.
Hold me tight around my belly. Hey, my father tell me, when you're playing song, you must play the original version of song too, right? So
This is Caribbean Vibes.
It was Tuesday night, last lap Carnival. Me head feeling right. I bounce up this girl. She say I drink up me whiskey and I smoke up me tampy. And right now I'm searching for a man to jump up with me. But why you dancing like you're afraid to touch me? I come out to play, hold me tight around me belly. I come out to play, like you're afraid me man go beat you. I come out to play, me ain't a no man, I tell you. I only hope you ain't have no woman in the band, cause if you have a woman, that will be real confusion. I am in search of a man with your description, and you got to play with me from now until Ash Wednesday. I say, do come, take a drink of rum. She say me shoe bust, and I lost my purse. I tell she throw away the damn shoe, and I throw away my shoe too. She say, oh, they are hoping I could bounce up someone like you. But why you dancing like you're afraid to touch me? I come out to play, hold me tight around me belly. I come out to play, like you afraid me man go beat you. I come out to play, me ain't had no man, I tell you. I only hope you ain't have no woman in the band, cause if you have a woman, that will be real confusion. I am in search of a man with your description, and you got to play with me from now until Ash Wednesday.
I say you're dancing like you're afraid to touch me. I come out to play, hold me tight around my belly. Mover native Denzil Streete takes up a leading role at prestigious MIT. We must celebrate these things. We must celebrate these things. This is from the news there again, featured from Andrew. Andrew, what's your name? Giannetti? 40 years ago, Denzil Streete was just a dreamer, a young bibliophile destined to explore the world outside of the confines of Mover Laventil. Only make things easy for me to read now. What's a bibliophile? Today, Streete is the Senior Associate Dean and Director of the Office Graduate Education at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, one of the most prestigious institutes in and outside of the US. He took up the role last week. His mandate includes the oversight of some 100 graduate programs catering to approximately 7,000 graduate students. Denzil, it's Trini. You had to open the door, you had to leave a door open for me. What we need now is a link, right? MIT in a statement said Streete brings vast experience and important role as a leader in critical aspects of the graduate student life and learning, including admissions and recruitment, diversity, academic success, and graduate student support. Newsday spoke with Streete, who was in the process of moving to the Boston area of Massachusetts. He said it's an honor to have the opportunity to shape the environment that will allow groundbreaking research and exploration in the future. Exploration that in the future will impact society in fundamental ways. Over the years, many of MIT's former PhD students have gone on to win Nobel Prizes. Ian Waits, Vice Chancellor for Undergraduate and Graduate Education, describes Streete in the statement as a natural collaborator and a passionate advocate for students. Waits said this will serve us well as we navigate some very complex issues like graduate student unionization and the impacts of the recent Supreme Court decision on the use of race in admissions. The U.S. Supreme Court controversially ruled in June to ban the consideration of race as a factor for university admissions in a practice known as affirmative action. Streete told Newsday, "My goal has always been to create educational structures that provide opportunity to students like my former self." So I have been particularly focused on diversity in PhD programs at the elite institutions, just making sure that students from an underrepresented and underprivileged background has just as much opportunity to access these institutions and contribute to the creation of the knowledge just as anyone else. Now, I know the reading is be poor, right? But just remember, it's 2 o'clock this morning. I reach home to, you go easy on me, I'm looking for grace in this episode because between them among the drinks they're serving out with Telly do this media event and have me drinking heavy on a weeknight. I had to come here and record and talk about this thing. All reading is blamed on Overtime TT, Nigel Telesford, and everybody who was my young brother last night. But for me to read some of these things, I got to get some help from Shadow here again. But most importantly, salute to Denzil Streete, right?
A little boy named Father Right accusing me that seriously. He said he feel that I don't feel. I asked him why. He tell a lie.
He say you're singing nonsense, but people love your nonsense. It's
Obia, you walking Obia. You looking like a boo-boo, but then the sister love you. It's Obia, you walking Obia.
sing!
Obia man, answer the question. Obia man, you are not dealing with Satan. Obia, you walking Obia. It's Obia, you walking Obia. Only I, I'm only I. He said the thing that you refuse would make you feel bust up your shoes. Obia man, you think it's smart. No, my man, don't be like that. I know you're singing nonsense, but yet I love your nonsense. It's Obia, you walking Obia. You looking like a boo-boo, but
Teresa, I love you.
it's Obia, you walking Obia. Obia man, answer the question. Obia man, you are not, you're dealing with Satan. home, yeah. You walking home, yeah. It's home, yeah. You walking home, yeah.
Trinidad journalist wins BBC International Radio Playwriting Competition. We celebrating that. We ain't waiting for no Venezuelan to win it on behalf of Trinidad and then boost all the Venezuelan and then pretend like if we have support for them. For playwright, journalist, and movie junkie, Julien Neaves winning the BBC International Radio Playwriting Competition is as serious as it is fulfilling. 5 years ago in 2018, Neaves submitted his first radio play. Tanti get an Android. I don't like it already. Everybody know what is happening when Tanti get an Android. He was selected as a finalist but did not secure the prize. It was within the same time frame that he submitted work for several literary competitions like the Commonwealth Short Story Competition but failed to advance. Neaves in a phone interview yesterday said the loss in 2018 gave him encouragement to keep trying. Neaves' second radio play, The Mighty Kobo, got the judges' nod of approval this time around. He topped this year's competition category in English as a first language. For those not familiar, radio plays are different from stage plays as stories are brought to life through the use of voice, tone, and special effects. Upon receiving news of his win in September via email, Neaves was ecstatic. Since I was a boy, I dreamed of being a writer. All my hopes and dreams and aspirations finally manifested. I was ecstatic. The Mighty Kobo, he said, has been with him since the 1990s. The story focuses on an elderly calypso singer who has been forgotten by the world. The story explores themes of aging and mental health. Neaves, 42, considers himself an old soul. No, Neil, you're not just an old soul. Neaves. Neaves, 42, considers himself an old soul. I tell people I'm an old soul. I connect with older people. I find that we as a society, Trinidad and the world, we push the elderly to the side. We don't realize they have so much knowledge and experience, and so much of that we're just letting crumble and die, he said. Neaves, you're saying that, right? But your last story was Tantiga Android. I'm watching you, Neaves. I'm watching you. I have my eye on you. With many talented writers in the Caribbean and this country waiting to have their stories recognized and published, Neaves lamented that many undervalue themselves. As Trinis, we undervalue ourselves. Let me repeat that, right? As Trinis, we undervalue ourselves because we think I'm just a Trinidadian from a little dot in the world. Nobody wants to read my story. They undervalue themselves and write all these stories. Put it in a shelf and it just dies. Neaves urged aspiring playwrights and writers, both young and old, to believe in themselves and submit their work to literary competitions. I would say that no one is going to believe in you until you believe in yourself. You have to put in the work. If you want to be a playwright, read some books, look at the structure, try your hand. I like Neaves a lot. There are a lot of free competitions. Try and see what happens, he said. The Mighty Kobo is scheduled to be broadcast in early 2024 by the BBC. I hope I could hear it. And let me say salute as well to the Brooklyn Caribbean Literary Festival and Marsha Messiah and the whole team over there who have shown me over the last couple of years how many Caribbean and particularly Trinidadian authors they have and the types of stories they tell. Several different stories of all different genres, and some funny, some moving, some informative. It really comes down to what Neaves says. We can't underestimate the stories we want to tell. Our story is just as good as any other story. As I say, if Japan could have a restaurant here and serve sushi all over the world, why we mustn't serve what we have all over the world and be happy about it and be proud to talk to people about it? We can't hide what we have like if it's some kind of secret or like it less than anybody else. So salute to Neaves. Salute to Neaves. Trini's doing big things. Salute to Denzil Streete. Salute to Shane Ramnarine. And of course, salute to Rebecca Hislop. We back in you. We didn't care about it, no, we care about it because of you. So we hope you go there and you do good. And again, that story has more to give, right? But I want to leave you with a few shadow. I tell you, I have a party one for you, right? Up-tempo one, more or less, so to speak, right? I'll tell you something. You see this song? I understand it's one of the later releases from Shadow, right? It might be in the 2000s and things. This is when Shadow sort of reintroduced himself somewhere around Stranger to a younger audience, right? When I was fetting, Shadow was performing in the Fet with Stranger and thing. I think he went the Soca Monarch and Calypso Monarch. If that might be 2001, if not 2000. I can't remember exactly, but it was there. But this was one that came out soon after. I just waited to listen to the amount of tempo in this song. I'm not sure. I don't feel like if at the time people was taking this song on, but listen to the tempo in this song.
Lady minivan, never went to bed, always in the house, quiet like a mouse. Then she took a chance and went to a dance. The band start to play and she break away. Oh, 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 oh. I'm feeling naughty, I feel to party. I'm feeling naughty, I want to party. Oh, oh.
I don't cut that off, because if I could listen to that for the whole day. I could play that over and over for 2 hours and put that out as a podcast episode. So let me spare that, right? But they have a next one that is a classic. That sometimes I'm not sure if people know it or not, right? Shadow is a man lived through life feeling like if he was one of the greats, but not being recognized as one of the greats. Through the competitions, I think he had a hard time winning. And this was a song that he had put out that addressing that directly. And next one of my favorite Shadows. And there's only one more before I go, but there's our next one of my favorites.
Society man here in Trinidad. They take it for fun, pushing me around. The world know my music is solid like brick. The people enjoy it, they jump to the beat. But when they have competition, the judges will swear I am a comedian, so I ain't going back there. I want to catch some judges in hell to have them jumping, just jumping, no stopping. I want to wake them up with some blows and have them jumping, just jumping, no fooling. I'm gonna tell you jump, jump, you got to jump, jump. I'm gonna tell you stop, keep jumping up. And if I catch you jumping up slow, I bust you too.
listen, that brings me to the end of episode 157. I hope all you had a great and a very productive week, and I wish you all the best for the week ahead. I see 100 done start to play 100 Days of Christmas. I shall not be listening to no 100. If all of you all go put me in Christmas mode from all now, is wrong. I also want to say that being the husband of a wife in the public sector, I was looking forward to the little back pay and the little dust and the little kakada. I'm looking forward to that, so I'll be monitoring very closely when it come in, because it have a way that extra money don't count on certain sides of the relationship marriage fence. You know what I mean? Extra money, it is never here about the extra money, how much it is. So please keep me informed. If you are in the public service and you listen to this broadcast and you collected your back pay, please message me on any one of the social media platforms, put a comment on YouTube, message me directly, and let me know if teachers collect their back pay. Please just keep me informed where that's concerned. Thank you very much. I want to leave you with one more of my favorites from the great Winston Bailey. Every time I say the last one, I find the next one I want to leave you with.
If a man is born in luxury, they prove to me through history he is somebody. But if a man is born in poverty, starvation and misery, he is nobody. Everybody is somebody. Nobody is nobody. I mean the poor or the wealthy. Everybody is somebody. Poverty is what it takes to make such dangerous mistake about who is somebody. But when a woman makes her son, from the time that child is born, he is somebody. Everybody is somebody. Nobody is nobody. The pauper or the wealthy, everybody is somebody. regret makes one sad. A loaded wallet makes one glad. Listen carefully. If you are the one who is feeling glad, remember that someone who is sad is somebody. Everybody is somebody. Nobody is nobody. The